Gojo Satoru is easily the fan favorite character in Jujutsu Kaisen. Everyone loves Gojo, but what do they really know about Gojo? Gojo Satoru comes from a long line of court nobles known as the Gojo family. The overall rank or status of the Gojo family is known as Hankei, meaning that the Gojo family comes from a lower ranking of court nobles established after the Kamakura period. The Gojo family were the lowest ranked family in social standing among the high nobility court inside the imperial palace. As for the family's profession, they served as historians by studying history and concerning over the continuous, methodical narrative and research of past events, and through records of Japanese periods such as the Edo and Meiji periods. The family's status after the Meiji period had been that of a viscount, and as viscounts, the Gojos would have the honor of possessing an administrative or judicial position in a non-hereditary fashion, meaning that the title of viscount was not granted through biological means. Although the Gojos did not share the same last name or blood as other nobles, they were still allowed their positions of power in the courts of Japan. For numerous generations, the family managed the operation of Sumai no Seki, which is the imperial ceremony of sumo wrestling. The Gojo family were recognized as Sumai no Tsukasa, which put the Gojos in the position to be in charge of the sumo matches that were held in the presence of the emperor. With that being said, the Gojo family are also a descendant of Nomi no Sukune, who is a god of sumo, so it was only natural for the family to have such a task granted to them. However, the Gojo family's right to be in charge of sumo matches in front of the emperor had been tarnished when a vassal of the lord of the Kumamoto domain, Hosokawa clan, Oikaze Yoshida, actively organized sumo performances and issued yokozuna licenses in Edo sumo. And through the passionate displays of sumo, Yuta Okkotsu had made a connection with the Gojo clan. This works because the god of sumo has ties to the same family tree as Yuta Okkotsu. You are a descendant of Sugawara no Michizane, meaning you're a super distant relative of mine. The god of sumo, Nomi no Sukune, is an ancestor of the Gojo family and an ancestor of Sugawara no Michizane, who is Yuta Okkotsu's ancestor. By sharing the god of sumo as an ancestor, Yuta is a distant relative of the Gojo family, because his ancestor is a descendant of Nomi no Sukune, just like the Gojo clan. By sharing the same ancestor, both families are connected. Sugawara no Michizane was a scholar, composer of poems, and a politician who lived in the Heian period. He is especially known for his exceptional Chinese poems. At the age of 33, he was named Manjo Hakase, meaning he is the professor of literature. Sugawara no Michizane was given important posts by Emperor Uda and was promoted to the position of Udaijin, which was the highest body in the organization of the imperial court, which was also known as the Minister of the Right. However, after being falsely charged by the Saidaijin, known as the Minister of the Left, Fujiwara no Tokihara, Sugawara no Michizane was demoted to the governor of Dazaifu, and before dying there, Sugawara no Michizane cursed the imperial court for this series of events and was later enshrined as a god. These days, he is venerated as a god of literature. After cursing the imperial court, it would be no wonder as to why Sugawara no Michizane would be considered a well-known name throughout Jujutsu Kaisen's shamanism. Who? One of the three greatest Japanese vengeful spirits. A super big-time shaman. Duna! After Sugawara no Michizane died, many strange events occurred in Kyoto, and Emperor Daigo's sons died of illness one after another. Furthermore, the Serioden Hall was hit by lightning during the court council meeting, killing and injuring many imperial court personnel. Afraid that these events were representations of Michizane's curse, the imperial court pardoned Michizane's crimes and conferred posthumous honors on him. Michizane's children were also released from exile and called back to Kyoto. And with Sugawara no Michizane's curse, it would be no wonder as to why Michizane would be one of the 3 greatest Japanese vengeful spirits. The connection can be made with cursed energy. Shamans in Jujutsu Kaisen use cursed energy to fight, and Sugawara no Michizane left his own curse after his own death. The curse of Michizane was possible because the imperial court feared him, and fear is one of the many sources of cursed energy, which makes all the more sense as to why Michizane is so well known to shamans. And while speaking of well-known shamans, Yuta Okkotsu's power strikes a compelling connection to Sugawara no Michizane. Today, Sugawara no Michizane is revered in Shinto as the god of learning. This would tie into Yuta Okkotsu's cursed technique because Yuta copies other cursed techniques, and while being a descendant of the god of learning, Yuta would essentially learn from his opponents by copying their techniques. The pieces of history that affect the overarching story in Jujutsu Kaisen are actually real. If you were to travel to Japan and visit the Zaifu Tenmagu Shrine, you will be able to step foot at the place where one of Gojo Satoru's and Yuta Okkotsu's ancestors drew their last breath. This very shrine was created in order to appease Sugawara no Michizane's spirit and most likely end the curse of Michizane. These are the family ties of Gojo Satoru and Yuta Okkotsu.